So part of being a diabetic, whether you're type 1, type 2, gestationally diabetic, no matter what, you're going to have highs and lows just with your blood sugar levels. Regardless, your body can't regulate its own blood sugar levels and its insulin levels. So it's sort of like driving your car without cruise control. You know, your speed, your momentum, it's going to be different going uphill, downhill, wind speed, whatever. So your highs and your lows are going to be there no matter what. Symptoms of them are going to vary person to person, but they're kind of the same. In a nutshell, they're all very similar. So let's just say, you know, you want to keep your level at 100, just a nice simple number, at 100. So if you start going low for whatever reasons, if your blood sugar level starts going down here, and again, it's different for everybody. Some people prefer being in the 80s all the time. I don't feel comfortable being that low, but if your body is not used to being in those lower numbers, more often than not, you know, you're going to have shaky hands. You're going to feel kind of fuzzy, loopy. It's harder to concentrate. I get cold sweats, especially if my numbers get really low. I'll start sweating, really kind of like night terror sweat. And I've never noticed anyone to have fruity breath. I know when I was little, the teachers in elementary would always try and sniff my mouth for fruity breath if I was going low, because that was supposedly a telltale sign. I've never noticed that, so... and the only way to correct a low blood sugar is to eat some, or consume something with carbohydrates in it. So, and the doctor will tell you, use, you know, juice, healthy foods like fruit. I don't like using fruit just because every fruit's going to be different. So I prefer to use pop, full bore pop. So nothing sugar-free, nothing diet. Orange pop, like Fanta, works really well. There's a lot of good sugar in there. Chocolate bars, Hershey, things like that. Bread is a really good stable blood sugar helper. And again, everyone's body is different. Some people don't feel their lows. Now that I've been on the pump, I'm not low as frequently, so I feel it a lot more, and it's not a pleasant feeling, but it is good that I can feel them now. Alternately, you have your highs. So again, we have our target baseline of 100. So if your numbers, your blood sugar levels start going up and up and up, they can go up pretty high. I think when I was diagnosed, I was at like 687 for a blood sugar. So you don't want them to go high for a lot of reasons. Symptoms of being too high is going to the bathroom a lot, just because your body, you know, can't process what it's supposed to, so it just flushes it out. Being really thirsty, and I get really nauseous, and I get a headache. I get crabby too, and I don't know if that's a direct relation to the blood sugar or if it's just because your body's not feeling good. It's just gonna loop all of it together. So, and really the only way to treat a high blood sugar is with insulin or physical activity. I work a physically demanding job, so at the beginning of my shift, I will have a little bit more of a snack, like carbs and things like that, but the catch with that is my pump tries to bring your level down a little bit, so it gives like micro boluses, so it makes that a little bit harder. But once I start moving, like a good 45 minutes into my shift, my pump will start, you know, setting alarms off saying you're going low, you need to eat, you need to drink something. And so what affects the highs and the lows is everything under the sun and the stars and the moon. Everything affects why, or, you know, what could make your blood sugars change. There was, Oh, I wish I took a screenshot of that. There was something on a Facebook page about what affects your blood sugar level. Anything from being sick can make you either go low or higher, depending on your body. Stress is a big issue. Stress makes my levels go high, and a little more difficult to control. Ladies, your time of the month, it's gonna impact that. Different types of food also affect people differently. I have a hard time with like very dense breads. Rice doesn't seem to impact my levels that much. But I know when my uncle was first diagnosed as a type 2, he could not touch rice at all. I think it was rice. Yeah, but that just made him go high. Liquids, liquids get into your system a lot quicker just because they're easier to break down. So if you drink like a frappuccino, it's gonna make your levels go higher a lot quicker. And that's another reason too why I prefer to drink liquid carbs if I'm going low, especially if I'm really, really low and, sweating and shaky. I feel like I made that sound much more simplistic than it should be. But always keep your insulin with you if you go too high. I carry snacks on me now, and I wear scrubs, so we're not supposed to have food with us at work, but in my pockets is a loophole. So, and I get sick of the same snacks all the time. Gummy worms, gummy bears, things like that I went through for a while. Lately, I've been using mint patties. I don't remember what brand they are. Just little peppermint patties with like a mint paste inside of them. Those actually help really good, but they get squishy. But if you work like a normal job, like a desk job, keep a candy jar, granola bars, things like that. Trying to remember. I don't think I've ever had a single roommate that ever really understood what my highs and lows actually were. There was the one, she's like, I don't know about it, but you seem to understand and have it under control, so as long as you're good, I'm not going to worry about it. That's not the best strategy, so I mean, if you have people that are diabetic, and again, regardless of type 1, type 2, whatever, it's good for everyone in your circle or your social bubble to have an understanding of what the highs and the lows are, just because it can make a difference. I mean, if you're out in the jungle and you run out of whatever food you have, make sure your buddy that you're out there with has something that you can eat. So, simply put, those are my definition or description of the lows and the highs of blood sugars. I'm sure there's more symptoms that I'm missing, but that's what I've run into. And the other diabetics like that I work with, I think they're all type 2, but they have the same symptoms that I've noticed. So that is all I have to say on that. All right, I will see you next week.